AM 97 WSTX.
Okay, here we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to WSTX AM 970. You're listening to Reflections with Doug Canton. Here we go. And Gerard Evelyn. It's another Thursday. Guess what? Somebody get paid today. Don't spend it all in one place. So, all you Friday worshipers, don't get jealous. Do not get jealous because Thursday is the day that starts the weekend. Okay? Thursday is the day that starts the weekend. Good morning, Big Sis. Good morning, KJ. Good morning, Emmy. Danny. Hey, good morning, St. Croix. Christian said, Patrick said, Mid Island. Good morning to Julian. Hey, Julian. Trucking. Trash and water delivery. One call does it all. Give him a call. 340-277-9093. Tell them Gerard sent you. Good morning to my friends up there in Florida, New York, Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina. Good morning around the world. It's another Thursday morning. They say we're supposed to get a little weather today, so they say. But I just come in from the outside and it's kind of sunny out there. So we're going to see how the rest of the day goes. So we have Mr. Canton with us virtually. Dougie, are you here?
Good morning, Jared. Good morning, St. Croix. Good morning, world. Yes, I'm here. It's another wonderful Thursday. Yep.
I can, but I don't like it. Feedback.
I would love to be taking a dip up at Little B right about now, but I having to stay dry another kind of a way here with this stuff. Oh, yeah. Hey, summertime, as far as I can concerned, summertime don't start. But if it is 60 degrees, it's winter for me. Yeah, so what it says, summertime and the living is easy. Okay, as long as you got a jacket with a hoodie in the morning. Okay, so what's been going on, Jared?
Nothing really. Same old, same old.
Well, kind of same old, same old. I was listening to that advertisement for the show there, and looking at the positives. I saw a press release by the Department of Labor that their youth summer employment program is running kind of hot. People jumping in and getting involved, and that's good from the youth perspective, especially. Make that money during the summer, and hopefully be engaged in something that's going to give them either additional skills or hone the skills that they have, or introduce them to skills that they never knew about.
Well, time hard, everybody need money.
Well, times being hard aside, I looking at it in the positive. I looking at
Yeah,
it
I
in the
mean, it's
context of
positive, yeah.
opportunity,
Yeah,
and that the opportunity is being embraced. Because sometimes we have
yeah.
opportunity, and folks,
Don't think
say what they want. It's one thing to want the money; it's another thing to work for the money. And the fact that they're willing to get out there and do that, that's a positive sign.
right.
All right. On a not so positive, the youth firearm violence is kind of one of those things that we have to look within and say, well, okay, how did we get there and where do we go from here? And then do something about it. I the easiest thing is to be critical, but it's not a simple thing, and anybody can be critical by pointing out what's going on there out there and everything else. The real deal is, how do we change the environment? And there's a phrase I used long time ago and still stick to. When the youth are talking, the question is, are you listening? And you could listen when they're talking, the positive outreach for, hey, we need resources, we need positive engagement, we need these things. Where are they? Now we come from a community where we built a whole bunch of um, basketball courts, and we had Little League more aggressively, and we had Girl Scouts even more aggressively. And so, yes, to a certain extent, we still have some of those things, but there's a certain engagement factor that has to happen. If you don't have a situation where there's a interaction, an engagement, you pass by the basketball courts and the basketball court's empty. You go by the ball park, the ball fields, and everything else, and they're empty or under construction for years and years and years. You know, um, you have all of these different things that said that in essence, as a community, we've been kind of talking out both sides of our mouth here. We need to figure out if we're gonna put something in other than garbage to get something other than garbage out. I remember when I had my Seabreeze Kids laboratory where I was teaching children how to use computers and so forth and so on. And I did that on Saturdays, and an adult asked me, well, how you to find the time to do this? And I said, well, you're gonna get out what you put in. If there's no sacrifice somewhere, and this is the problem, everybody somehow feels it's somebody else's job to sacrifice, or it is government job. No, it's the community. So we have to figure out how we're going to identify the nonprofit organizations or other community organizations that we want to be involved in, and come up with some way of making our contribution, whether it's financial, time, a combination of the two, or in kind with food, snacks, whatever the case may be. It out. This is election time. We got something going on here with the internet. You hear me?
Yeah, you're cutting in and out
Okay,
though.
we had something. Yeah, we had something going on here with the internet. Okay, that's one of the challenges that we always face. Anyhow, I'm just saying that it's election time, and you're gonna hear a lot of we need this and we need that and we need the other. And the reality is, and for how you're gonna meet that need, then all you're doing is telling people what they already know, that there's a need. So folks who are running for office, that when they start talking about these things, like, tell us what your ideas are, some of the things that we can do, and who have you discussed it with, because one of we have is everybody trying to upstage everybody, so they did, so it got to be their idea. So they're going to share it community wise or whatever the case. You got to figure out how you're going to share it with the community and give the
Well, the thing, part of it is
share it, because
some people
that's
believe
the
some people believe it's a me thing and not a we thing.
well, that's part of it, but the bigger challenge for the community is that the problems that we face isn't something where the divine is going to send down a prophet and fix everything for you. You are now stewards of your own environment. You have to get involved and do the work. And so
Right.
we're saying the same thing that Brother Foy was lamenting, which is that everybody wants a certain result, but nobody wants to get out there and work for it. So we had
Right.
the 60s. We had Queen Mary and Firebun, way before that. But we're in a world today where we have to take extraordinary steps to get people involved on that level, and they don't seem to understand that if they had a petition out there tomorrow to say that if you aren't supporting these type of activities or well, let's give an example. VINGN. VINGN provided computers and internet to a lot of community organizations and government entities. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And so what good are computers in a room that's locked 7 days a week? What good are computers when they're in a room locked 7 days a week and there's no program that if the doors were even to open, that the children know that they're there and would come in and utilize them? Right? But that's where we are. That is exactly where we are. In fact, a lot of computers that were donated are now basically obsolete.
Right.
Okay, and you see them in the libraries and everything, and they're basically obsolete. So the problem here is that they walk in something on the people, because the average person out there may not know what needs to be the state of the art in terms of equipment. Now, let's take it with persons with disabilities, okay? And they start to cut back the bandwidth at the libraries in a way that was impacting your ability to get the talking books online or other services that persons with disability could use through the internet. What does that say? It says that you're not really committed. You just want to put up something on the window front to look pretty, but when you go inside the door and you see the place, the store empty, the facility is empty. All right. So now I'm saying that it's not whining. This is just being straight up, folks. If you want something different, then you have to behave different. You have to act different. And part of that acting different is demanding in a way that the powers that be gonna say, hey, these people serious. Because right now, for the past 10, 20 years, they're treating us like we ain't serious. And that's the challenge. How do you get them to that point? Well, you get them to that point by organizing and coming up with what you have in common. And then in writing saying this is what we have in common, and either you up for this or you out the door. That's basically what it comes down to. Now, that means that people who may not like each other have to recognize that their children benefit from them agreeing on something that they have in common. Just like the pothole on the neighborhood street. You want it fixed? You don't have to like your neighbor. You don't have to be on the best terms with your neighbor to realize that you have a common interest in that pothole getting fixed. Plain and
Mm-hmm.
simple. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the challenge. How do we get our folks past this thing of saying, okay, I focus more on what I don't want and what I don't like, as opposed to focusing more on what it is that I want, what it is that I like, what's best for my community, what's best for my children, what's best for my island. Okay. Now, uh, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. Let me tell you something. Being away from home at this point in time, and you know, have my fingers crossed and my prayers up and everything else that I'm going to make it back home and be able to contribute more than just talking on this show. You know, it's really a challenge when you see these things. So part of the challenge that we face is in that context. Well, how do we get off this show and put in motion what it is that we're talking about in terms of positive directions? Now, I look to you, for instance. You have a job, and you do a bang up job of doing your job. But
I try.
I know Jared, and if somebody reach out to Jared and say, "Hey, I have this need that as a person with a disability or somebody in my family who has a disability, and yeah, I know about your 8 to 5, but we couldn't make that." And it's like, how can we connect maybe to address this? I know Jared is a person that would jump to the occasion and say, "Hey, okay, this is what we need." Boom, 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 and next thing you know, it's happening. Right. So 1-1, you hear that 1-1 talk all the time. Okay, but if the one don't come after the one, I don't know how the basket gonna get full. I don't know.
That's
All
true.
right. So it's like that. It's like that. Or maybe use one of the fishes and I use one of the loaves, and they gonna somehow make us clone us into.
I don't know they're gonna do that. But oh, before I forget,
Uh-huh.
I heard from Midas. Midas said to the audience, give his best wishes to the audience of the WSTX AM 970. He said he'll be
Midas,
back soon. Midas.
the one and only.
The one and only Midas.
Yes.
Okay, we have a caller on line one. Let me see who it is. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Listen, Gerald, morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nibs.
Listen, I believe you could see it.
You know, you didn't send me your insurance card, you know. So I hope
Okay.
I hope this is not another therapy session.
No.
Okay.
Because I heard you say a while ago, it's not a meeting, it's a weeting. Now you taught me something.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. Yeah, but not today. Sunday, Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's gonna be the longest day of the year. I don't know what take them from measure it with, but that's what they said.
Okay.
So I would like to wish each and every father a happy Father's Day, including Doggy.
Yeah, doggy.
I listen to you. I listen to you. It have a
Happy
if I could,
Father's Day, my brethren.
all right, if I could just take a minute here to
And on top of that, today, and these are these meteorologists and all these scientists who say these things, they said today is going to be the hottest day of the year. I think we're looking at feel like temperatures up at 105, 107. I mean, when your morning started at 6 o'clock this morning, it already been 91. I could tell you.
Right.
Air conditioning in the car ain't gonna be enough. You need an igloo.
Okay. Well, Doug wanted to say something.
Okay.
Go ahead, Doug.
yeah, well, you could stay there with your temperatures. I there with my 63 degrees right now. Okay, so but that aside, okay, I'm looking at something here. Wine and Unwind presents Men Deserve Flowers Too. And it's an event where you can create a handmade Father's Day gift. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm seeing this on Facebook. Okay, and there's I just happened to see it under this Omari Vi Suarez and it's been up for 20 hours. But anyhow, at Mango Leaf Bar and Restaurant, which is 55 Company Street, Christiansted, and they got a big open spaces so they can accommodate a lot of people at all the tables and everything else. But it's a way you can create a flower arrangement with a painting background. And it looks pretty cool. And I think there are a lot of dads out there who would appreciate getting something like that. Yes, it's some of us who would like to get the latest, fastest computer, and the latest, fanciest smartwatch and all this stuff. But dads, you gotta hold it down now, okay? Okay? You gotta hold it down and give them a chance. Don't bust the budget just because they would do it for Mother's Day, okay? Anyhow.
I'm glad that you put that out there, because I was coming down Center Line Road just this past weekend, and the bus driver made a comment. He said, "Look at this." He said, "I'm driving coming down the road, and I ain't seeing nothing selling for fathers." I said, "Not even a tantan tree." He said, "Not even a tantan tree." I say, but come Mother's Day, every dog and cat got a little 10 by 10 up, and they to the side of the road selling all kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I don't want to buy them for the mothers and them.
These fathers are cheering as well. So I'll be like, well, I said, they really ain't got no respect for fathers wrong here.
That's a one-sided thing, man. One-sided. But that's all right. We got to love them. Because I could tell you something, If I had come in the wall and they had no woman in it, I was going back. I wasn't going to say that.
Well, you can't come without one. Hey, you can't come without one of them, number one. So my thing was when they used to get upset with me, I tell them my mother in Kings Hill.
Okay.
I said, that's the only woman who I was obligated to get anything for. I said, so.
But I don't know if you remember the song.
Hold on. I tell them, I said, that's the only woman I was obligated to get anything for. So if you want anything, turn to your children.
Oh, okay, I understand. That makes sense.
You and my mother.
But let me go by asking this. I don't know if you all remember back in the day, there was a song having to do with men and women. We can't live with them, but we cannot live without them.
I remember that song. What was that thing that?
I don't remember who sang it.
I remember the song. I can't remember the artist.
Can't live with them. You can't live without them.
That's a true song because
Something irresistible.
I start with it. Man, with what? I'm back again, my boy. You're crazy. It's done yourself. Anyway, David, if you're in the New York area, please talk to those fans for the Knicks. The parade, I think, will be tomorrow, I think it is. They don't have to be burning up no bus and looting stores and mashing up. Just have fun, man. It's a fun thing for the Knicks.
Brother, it's let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
I'm a Texan, so I got it.
Okay. Let me speak to that with the techniques. Okay.
Right.
Sports and rivalry and support is one thing. But in New York, it had some folks that I guess call themselves Knicks fans beat a young man into a coma, a young man who was supporting the Spurs. And what I was hoping to see is more of a outpouring of, hey, this isn't how we do it. We have to agree to disagree, but this isn't how we do it. I don't see anything out there coming from the New York community and the big voices in New York about that. So now they're gonna have a parade, and I'm happy for them. Oh, by the way, I'm a Spurs fan, but you know, I could have called that game that season from before anyhow. They came out strong for the first couple of games, and that's it. They didn't have the strategy after that to. They may have had the skill, but it wasn't strategizing a way for winning. That's what I saw. But anyhow, that aside, okay. Uh, I don't expect to see any violence and any this and any that going on, but I would think that the based on what happened before, the powers that be and celebrities that be need to start opening up their mouth and saying something that, hey, how we do it, violence and destruction is not how we do it. And if
We
you
have a
see
caller
somebody
line.
look like they're infiltrating, trying to do that, then, you know, you see something, you got to say something. Because it will have people who will want to come in and do what they do. Okay, I see also an announcement about them going to Washington D.C. to the White House. More power to them.
Yeah,
Okay, that's all I got to say about that.
we are caller line too.
Okay, let's go for it.
Good morning, caller. You on the air?
Good morning. Who's this? Gerard?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Where's Mr. Canton?
You listening to you?
Good morning. As I just tuned in, I heard Mr.
Oh, can I say something? Tell him the Cantor wants to say something to him real quick.
Hello?
Hold on.
Tell Devin, I want to say something to you, okay? Because I know this guy that had this BM and had a problem on the road, okay? And the vehicle had to be towed, and the police forced him to use a particular towing company as part of a scam to enrich that towing company, because that towing company was a boyfriend of the person who was there dealing with it from public safety perspective. You remember that, right? You'll never forget that.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I see that the VI police is being sued again now because a gentleman was stopped and a chain was taken away from him, a very expensive chain that somehow has disappeared. A chain that would have been what, $24,000 then, and let's say 30-something thousand dollars now. You know, the price of gold has gone up. And I saw that and I said, you know, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Anyhow, I just wanted to share that with you because
you know the police commissioner that I tried to resolve my issue was Mr. Martinez. And you see how Kama come on and kick him in the banner?
well, you know, I don't.
Commissioner Martinez resided in Estate Boboni. When I came back, because they gave me the car back after holding it for 3 years, they gave me the car back December 2019. I came down to St. Thomas January 2020. Well, if the car was in for 3 years, and you know it's a BMW, so you know it had to be restored.
Yeah.
Well, after I basically won the case, because when I went to Internal Affairs investigated the case, and the officer admitted to denying me to have my car towed with the service of my choosing, not that she had her boyfriend tow my car. Well, the police department, which I'm sure still on a consent decree, and the Internal Affairs said that the officer admitted that she had a boyfriend tow my car. And there's no ordinary statute or code that gives the police department that mandate. The police department then was Internal Affairs said there was no violation of police policy or procedure. Well, if the policy and procedure have a way to tow your own vehicle, and FEMA will dispatch a tow service to do that. So here it is. That is the policy. That is the procedure. How is it not in violation? Well, that's just the as you see. I just want to talk on something quick to them as I've been looking. Puerto Rico, our neighbors, VA Puerto Rico Friendship Day, is going through a major water drought shortage, right? Are you aware of it?
No, I'm not.
No, I know that they have issues, but I didn't know it was that acute.
Hotels have to be trucking water so that their guests will have water to shower and flush toilets and the necessities that you need water for. The reason why I'm pointing out this is not only in Puerto Rico, here in America, Lake Mead has fallen to historical lows. Lake Mead is the Colorado River that feeds Arizona, California, Colorado. So it feeds Nevada, 4 states, and it also provides hydroelectricity. Right now, the turbines are out because the water levels are too low. I'm talking about water because my initiative that Allowance was submitted to the 34th legislative body. And if they have read my initiative, it will tell them of the scarcity of water moving forward between now and 2050. The importance of water. That right now the billionaires are buying up all water facilities around the planet because water is the new gold rush for the 24th century. The importance of water. The importance of potable, drinkable water. And you, people who reside in St. Croix should know because just a couple of years ago you had the incident with the contaminated water. And to bring them this initiative to tell them, listen, this is a way to generate revenue. Because the problem with WAPA, as I just listened to Ms. Chanel, I forget what her new name, Chanel Peterson, whatever, she is the new PR for WAPA, just talked about an outage they just had at St. Thomas last night. That here it is again. WAPA's big problem? Money to buy fuel. How are you going to get money if your revenue stream has dried up? Where you had 80,000 households purchasing electricity is now down to 40 something. Where are you going to make up for all of that revenue you have lost? The only way you can make up for it is to find a way to produce a commodity and export it for sale. That's why we gave you the Fresh Bottled Water initiative. That everybody just put food in and just do it at the site. They don't understand the importance of water. No. With all of these data centers looking to open for artificial intelligence, 2 things they need: massive load of electricity and tons of water. So I'm just trying to point out the importance of water. Because when we talk about WAPA, and WAPA starts with W for water, most people only talk about the electrical side. Because electricity is what we live in. We live in a modern electrical world. We need electricity for everything. But water is even more important than electricity. Because you could do without electricity, but you can't do without water.
Yep.
Anyhow, gentlemen, I just wanted to point that out because our next door neighbors are going through a tough time, you know. And if it happens to Puerto Rico, it will happen to the Virgin Islands. So just want us to keep our eye when it comes to a drought situation in the middle of summer now. And like I said, politics is one of the main lines to get a leak broken, and you know we will be in the same boat as Puerto Rico. But back here to NYC, today is the big parade of the Canyon of Heroes from Bowling Green and Lower Manhattan coming up Broadway to the so listen in. The parade is gonna be tomorrow, but like you said, people out there, you sense. If you're not a Knicks fan, do not wear any other team paraphernalia just to cause an argument, cause a fight. It don't make any sense. Anyhow, fellas, you take care and have a good day.
All right, you do the same. Thanks for calling.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, take care. Okay. Yeah, it's all right.
So,
I
Doug,
mean, it's ironic. It's ironic the connection that I brought that up, and then the police commissioner, disgraced police commissioner, was involved in both. You know, but when you're on Facebook and you're watching some of these things that are going on with the police up there, people need to understand that we have come a long, long ways. We had our share of issues here, and the men and women in blue are out there, as far as I'm concerned, putting their lives on the line for protecting the community, especially to the extent that they're undermanned, understaffed, and some of the type of equipment that they should be having to be able to deploy to assist them in what they're doing is just the monies aren't being prioritized in that direction. The other side, of course, is the community. We have to step up. We have to stop treating the police like we don't treat teachers, or somehow the other we don't just drop off our children at school, and the teacher's gonna do everything to make our children perfect children, and they're gonna come back home and be perfect children. It starts in the home. So when we look at crime and other issues, it starts in the home. And out of the home into the community, and the community have to support the police. Anyhow, so much for that. Go ahead.
so what's going on St. Croix?
What's going on? Well, one of the things I know that there's a play going on at Caribbean Community Theater, and I'll bring that up in a minute. But I just wanted to repeat what I was talking about with this Father's Day event here. Men deserve flowers too. Now this is the opportunity to make a handmade gift, something special that is, you could hang up on the wall and hang up for next year, do something different next year. All right. But they have a QR code. The poster is there. I like I said, I found it online, and they provide all the art materials and including the flowers that go into it. And flowers, of course, are not real flowers because it's something hang on the wall to last, but it's realistic looking flowers. Okay, and this is more of an adult-oriented thing. Yes, so wives, significant others, daughters, whoever of age, because you're going to get a beer or wine as part of the thing. You want to make sure that you get some liquid courage in there, whatever, to swing that paintbrush to make the background for your flowers. And and some other things here that I ain't gonna mention. But anyhow, it looked like it would be interesting and fun. Okay, so do something different for Father's Day and check out the Men Deserve Flowers too. The thing that's going on, and it's going at Mango Leaf Bar and Restaurant at 55 Company Street in Christiansted. So it's at 6 p.m. and that's tomorrow evening, the 19th, tomorrow evening, folks. All right. So if you don't have anything on the agenda and you want to spark it up for the Father's Day, you know, and maybe save Father's Day for the most serious things you might be doing. All right. So anyhow, all I know they were dirty mine. That's our backside. Okay, me not with I. Okay. Okay, I understand. In fact, I got my card. I got my Alta Boy card here to show anytime. Whip it out. Okay. All right.
Don't show it to the priest and he might tear it up.
You something else you hear? Okay.
What?
But let me see here. Yeah. Let me see if it's here. Okay, yeah. This weekend is the last showing, I believe, for Sarah and Addie at Caribbean Community Theater. Right? They have the Friday and Saturday shows, which start at 8 o'clock, and they have a Sunday matinee that is at 4 p.m. Sarah and Addie, there's some short cruiser plays put on that were originally written by Anton C. Tatard, and it's going to be directed by Eileen Bishop and Desjardins. And they had 6 show dates, and it's been successful up to this point. But definitely, it's going to be fun. It's going to make you laugh for sure. And you know how it is in the Caribbean world between Mele and the jokes that come out of Mele. It's a nice thing. Check it out. I wish I was there to attend. You know, it's just one of those things where I am where I am, but I can share it with you out there, the community. And so that's the this Friday and Saturday. Okay, that you're going to have the ability to see it at 8 p.m. and Sunday at 4 in the afternoon. Now, it's summertime now and the sun's staying up longer, so the 8 o'clock time ain't such a deal breaker anymore. All right. Although, you know, part of what makes it the later shows a deal breaker, Gerard, is that they have these people who don't just turn on the lights and put on high beam and feel that that's just the way to drive. You know, you come up behind you and the lights behind you and they're blinding you.
Well, hey, you can't blame someone because I hear reports of not having street lights on the road.
No, we ain't talking about that, Gerard. If it got
I
a car in
know,
front of you, you
I
could
know what
say,
you're talking about, you know. I know what you're talking about.
but if it got a car in front of you, Gerard, it
Maybe
stands
they
to
still
reason that
can't
that
see too
car in front
well.
of you lighting up the road.
Yeah, but maybe they still can't see too well.
But that ain't because of the darkness. Okay? That ain't
Yeah,
because of the darkness.
I'm gonna get a little technical, you know, right? Do you know these cars that we drive on this road? We drive on the left, right? But these cars are came down from the States and the lights are angled to drive on the right. You're aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware of that. And you know, the sad thing about that is that's a technical thing that I want to hear from motor vehicles on what the potential remedies are. Okay?
They
And I want
tried.
and no, follow me for a second, right? I want to hear because there's several this is on several levels. You know, up
Mhm,
here you got to get your vehicle inspected
mhm,
in a way that they can deal with those type of things. I remember once upon a time when you come in to register your vehicle and you turn on your lights, they had the markers there on the wall. They could tell whether or not your
mhm.
lights are pretty much aligned the way they need to be. Now,
Right.
times have changed, technology has changed, but there has to be a way by which this can be adjusted. The nature of the cars is not fixed like that, it's adjustable. But it means then that we need to start looking at it not just in terms of the inspection at motor vehicle, but remember now in the States, you don't even have a motor vehicle. You go to a gas station who's certified to do it, and they do the inspection thing, and you go from there. They have,
Right.
whatever the case may be. The bottom line is that's something that's a self-inflicted wound because we simply have not taken steps to address it. And that's
Well,
and that's between government and
I took the
leadership.
step to address my problem on my own vehicle myself.
I understand that.
We have
So
a car.
if
We have
if
a
you're
car
doing the right
line.
thing, if you're doing the right thing and everybody else doing the wrong thing, it's not of great help. So anyhow, but bringing around full circle, the bottom line is Sarah and Addie is great entertainment, family entertainment, and it's going on at the Caribbean Community Theater right up here in Christiansted, above the Pueblo area. You're going up the hill there. You got that bar that they have on the left hand side there. I forget the name of it, but Lordy B is like, it's a new hangout. Almost in one sense, almost like the new 2+2 Caroline in the road all the way up and down the hill. So anyhow, it's opposite that. You take the road off there and you pass the fire station's headquarters, and I believe St. Croix Church. Yeah. Anyhow, but you pass there through there, and it's right after that. Anyhow, the bottom line is, you want to have a good time this weekend, you can do the Men Deserve Flowers too. You got the Sarah and Addie plays going on at Caribbean Community Theater. Hey, you can't say that ain't got nothing to do on St. Croix, because I
Ain't
will
got
tell
no,
you, if I didn't Asian, I will tell you on truth. I can't use a stronger
ain't got
word.
nothing to do. Ain't got no transportation.
I can't use a stronger word because my mother they right around the corner from me and she might hear me and then
Yeah.
I'll be in trouble. Okay?
Anyway, I have a car line one.
Okay, let me go to line one.
Good morning, Carla. You're on the air.
Yes, I listen to you all and Grant, and this is why I said, and I will continue to say, this is why I love talk radio. Because when you're just listening, you learn so much. And or things that have happened in the past is brought back to your memory. You all been talking about the police and this and that. Let me give you two quick situations I had and know of with regard to police. When I was running full-time the family business on St. Thomas, known as Ned's Auto Parts and Sales, selling vehicles and parts, one day I went to my store to open it. It didn't used to open until 8, but I get there like around 7 to open. And I saw a police vehicle parked in front of my door, business door. Upon further inspection, I saw the feet of a police lady, under a truck that I had just bought in from Canada, along with some other vehicles. But I say, how are you, man? You need a help? Like they're around. They were around. They're on the head, check it, because you're bringing in vehicles and saying there's American made and the Canadian made. And they was up. Okay. Anyway, she come out, she had write down something on a paper and number this, the other, the code, and she bring it to me. I know these codes, I know what they mean. And she said, look at them, and this is proof you're bringing in Canadian vehicles and saying you're American and you don't want to pay the taxes and this and that, the other. So then I say, okay, let me get my file on this particular vehicle. I went to my file cabinet. We had no computer in them. Me scrolling up, I go into a file. Have you name? Anyway, I whips out the file and I show her. I said, what does it say in here? He said, made in America. I said, who write that? She said, well, I don't know if it's you. I said, Miss, Madam, that's how and why I purchased the vehicle, because it said made in America. But anyway, it went on, I come and take her, and then she wanted to fight it. She said the commissioner at that time told her she's wrong. So I told him, it's okay. How you come? So I don't call the place in Canada where I bought it. I call them. I said, Mr. Ned, you send me a F-250, so blah, blah, blah. Where was it made? So what does your paper show? What does it say? I said, the paper said made in America. I got police woman there telling me it is made in Canada. I said, how does she know? Does she make vehicles? I said, I don't know. I said, she right there. You want to ask her. I don't know how to phone and speak up. She still on the phone with the commissioner and what's that. But long story short, look how things have happened. That police officer, because of problems she's been having with people on the force and other citizens, she lost her job. Not because of the situation with me, I guess that was one of the things. She lost her job. She knew some people in the high reaches of politics, and she put them on me to get her job in housing. Did I give her the job? Yes. Because of what happened? No. She was qualified as a bookkeeper, and I needed one at a time. Now I could have stayed first and out. That's you. I ain't got no opening. But you still got to be careful what we're doing to people that come back and bite we in the tail. Anyway, I'm finished with that. Let me go to the other one quick. Dougie, you probably should remember this, man. The police, many of the police officers, at least back in the day, I don't know if it's still so, had own record companies, own them. And they were afraid to put a name and then them own them. And this captain, I mean, I like that captain so much, I don't want to call his name. I don't know whatever happened to him, how he came out of this. A truck was picked up by the police for some reason. I don't know, remember what the problem was with the truck. They had a truck up there for years. Won't get a man back in truck. Well, it was told that not only did this captain obliterated the serial number, but also had the truck registered in his name. It came out that they find that was the case. He lost his job. Now, maybe today in these times, he wouldn't just get slapped on the wrist. They might have promoted the commissioner. Yeah, that's how we have behaved. Okay. So, I mean, long story short, I mean, you see, sometimes we do things and we just have to be careful with what we're doing. Be fair with everyone. Buddy. And how you and David are going out there? Do your random
yeah. We are at the top of the hour now.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, I throw it out there and I got.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Right.
Wait, we're not off air yet.
All right. Well, the things evolve. There are a lot of things that used to go on before that is just totally not acceptable anymore. Whether it's the police department or legislature or the executive branch in general. So we evolve. So anyhow, it's that time of the hour, and the marshal is in. Let's take care of the people that take care of us.
Yeah, we gotta keep the lights on, the mics on. Be back after these messages.
Stand up for compassion. Stand up for respect. Stand up for your community. Stand up for your future. Stand up for the Virgin Islands. WSTX FM 100, the soul of the Caribbean.
Hey, what's up?
You've got places to go, and better banking can help you and your money go further. Are you ready to take your money to new heights? Get a flexible, high-yield checking account that lets you customize your interest rates so you can keep your
Yeah, it
finances
went off.
headed in the
I
right
noticed it
direction.
went off on my phone.
With Elevate Checking for Bank of St.
It's
Croix, you're in control of how much
it
you
could
earn.
be an outage.
You can raise your rate with a few easy steps, like using your mobile banking
Yeah, it
app
could be an
or
outage.
getting
Here we go, Doug.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we are back. Had to do that random act. I have to pay some bills. And we back. So, Dougie, what else you got on that calendar there for us?
More community calendar. Right. Good thing. Okay. I got two organizations here. You know, when these folks do their flyers, sometimes they have to understand that you know, a lot of people who want to read these things can't read them because they use these very fine print. Um, let me see here. Oh, the senior medical Medicare patrol. Is that what it is? Yeah, okay. Okay, legal services. Anyhow, all of this trying to read this flyer here, you know, it's well intended to be something that look fancy and will catch people's attention. I understand you want people to come to your thing. And definitely here we got the legal services and the Virgin Islands and the Senior Medicare Patrol Program and VI Passes United Inc. Okay, and they have a senior financial health and wellness conference that's going on today. It is from 10 a.m. to 1:30 at the Sunny Isles Baptist Church at 4000 Estate Diamond in Christiansted. All right. Anyhow, Sunny Isles Baptist Church, Pastors United. So now some of the things that they're looking at is estate planning, wills, deeds, power of attorney, and then Medicare fraud, disability rights, government insurance programs, you know, how to secure your banking information, diabetes education and awareness, and this going on at Sunny Isles Baptist Church from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and it's a collaboration between Legal Services of the Virgin Islands, Senior Medicare Patrol Program, and VI Pastors United. All right, so that's one of the things that's out there that's going on. Okay. Of course, I mentioned before about the Men Deserve Flowers too, and Yes, I'm gonna keep pushing that. If you have something else going on out there that you want to share with the public in terms of an event for Father's Day, hey, feel free to send it to us or give us a call and let us know about it. Okay. Men Deserves Flowers too. That's at Mango Leaf Bar and Restaurant, 55 Company Street in Christiansted. Yes, they're gonna give you a canvas and you're gonna make your background, and then they have the thing on the canvas that is a vase to hold the flowers, and you take your pick of flowers and make your special arrangement for your special daddy, okay, or granddaddy, or foster dad. It doesn't matter. If they play that role in your life, make sure you recognize that man. Okay? Good thing.
Study.
Uh-huh. All right. We talked about Sarah and Addie going on this Friday and Saturday at 8 o'clock at Caribbean Community Theater, and then at 4 o'clock on Sunday at Caribbean Community Theater also. I see that the Virgin Islands Architecture Center for Built Heritage and Crafts has a summer program, VAST, a summer program that's going to run from the 22nd of June to the 24th of July. All right. So they got this summer program that's going to have lots of hands-on learning, cultural preservation oriented, use of cutting edge technology in the process of preservation, traditional crafts, and of course storytelling, because hey, then Johnby stories, among others, is something that we have to preserve in the process too. And a lot of these things are associated with buildings and locations here on the island. So definitely, if you want more information, you can call 340-713-8424. That's 340-713-8424. And in general, if you want to know about the Virgin Islands Architecture Center for Built Heritage and Crafts, you can go online at viacstx.com. All right, so moving right along here, I see that Kidsville is coming up on the 28th of this month here. Yes, and that's a collaboration between the VI Olympic Committee and the Children's Museum of St. Croix. All right. So they're going to be putting out more information, but they're going to have active play, creative fun, and things that develop healthy habits, and definitely promoting community and culture. So stay in tune with the Children's Museum of St. Croix in particular, because at the heart of it all is the children. And they have this summertime edition here coming up for June 28th. Definitely check them out. Okay. Now, the document I got didn't have the information, but the contact information, but just track down the Children's Museum of St. Croix. They've got a new home, a new physical location, and I'm sure they have a phone number. I just don't have it here with this flyer. All right. Good thing. Moving right along. Okay. Practical Entrepreneurship Academy, sponsored by First Bank. Now, this started on June 1st and it goes all the way through July 22nd. It's online courses that are free of charge, and topics include marketing, taxes, business plan, permits, and other things that you will need to do, need to know as a business owner. Now, yes, it started on June 1st, but it's different courses being done. So you didn't know about it on June 1st, you know about it now. Or you know about it now and you know somebody that need to know about it now, spread the word. You can find out through First Bank as a sponsor, right? So you've got a phone number for contact here, 787 756 5080. 787 756 5080. Practical Entrepreneurship Academy, USVI, and First Bank are doing it for you to be successful as a new or an ongoing business in the Virgin Islands. All right. Okay. And that's about it. Then what I have for us here uh, in my community calendar. All right. And I encourage folks, if you have an event that's going on, deliver the information to WSTX office upstairs above the post office in Gallows Bay. Deliver it there, and we'll get it. But you have to do your part. Don't be, complaining about you had your event and nobody show up. Well, if you didn't tell anybody about it, just because don't mean everybody gonna show up. Okay, Jared, coming back to you. All right. Good thing. I see you. I see you there hard at work doing something. Yeah. Anyhow, one day at a time in terms of what's going on. Now, on the island of St. Croix, we had the open house or town hall meeting with regards to libraries. I wasn't able to attend that. I'm very interested in what came out of it. If anybody out there wants to share a little bit with us, it's 340-773-0490-0390. Definitely, we'd like to hear what was taking place with that. And if it is available on YouTube or someplace else, or that you could share that with us, because in this day and age, every town hall, every town meeting, everything needs to be recorded and put on YouTube. And I say YouTube, some people say, what about Facebook? Well, start with YouTube, because YouTube, you don't have to be a member or anything to get onto YouTube and look at it. And your goal is to get it to the most people possible. YouTube is a vehicle for getting it to the most people. Second to that is Facebook. But Facebook, you have to have a Facebook account. And
We have
some
a call
people,
on line one.
yes, okay, we're going to them. Some people refuse to get an account on Facebook. They just don't want to do it. So YouTube is a way to reach the most people. All right, go to line one.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, quickly, my brethren, because I got to run there with FEMA. Out in Houston, we had a lot of flooding. It's not only Houston, the whole state of Texas, as well as Mississippi and Louisiana is underwater with more to come. But I think about 3 times this morning, I heard Dougie use the word mango in giving a location or something of where a business is. And
yes.
It strikes me to say something, and I'm saying it now while I'm running out the door. Mango season and plentiful, where there's more on the ground that's on the tree. Trees. My mother told me one time, she said that's me bad weather. I mean, you know meteorology. We know about bad weather. So I know bad weather. If you have meteorologist, have to go to school. After we look up at the sky, the stars, the moon, how it's moving and so forth, so on. And then we look at the animals. What they're doing in preparation. That's how I know it's bad weather coming. And so now let me tell you something. That year, it rained without ceasing. I'm sure you all will pray without ceasing. But we're raining without ceasing. Anyway, go on there before I lose this contract. I gotta go.
All right. Have a good one. Send some of that money down here to me.
I will send something.
Okay.
Okay. You sometimes, in my case, I flip through the news, I look at the various headlines and everything else. There are a lot of things that I don't even read in the context that it's like, yeah, what's new? Okay. But I saw where the current administration is looking at doing away with unemployment benefits. Could you imagine that, Jared?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they're figuring out ways to put people out to work. and now they figured out ways to take away unemployment. I don't know. To me, it's counterintuitive. It's counterintuitive, okay? Because they keep saying that somehow the other they doing for the grassroots people of America, but everything that they're doing from gas prices to the grocery stores to the health care, all they're doing is taking away, taking away, taking away, taking away, and then giving tax breaks, tax breaks, tax breaks to the richest of the rich. And it's like, I just don't know. Folks don't see, folks don't understand. Hey, anyhow, maybe it's me.
The man told them what you were going to do when you got in there, right?
Yeah, well,
I just sorry
yeah,
for them that didn't vote for him. Them that vote
okay,
for him, me sorry for them.
yeah. And now, the latest joke to me, right? They gone and they start a war. Close off what was open and now trying to claim that they trying to open it up. Okay, the thing was open all along, meaning the Strait of Hormuz, right? Okay,
Yeah,
and all of this war was about this nuclear weapons. Now the man turned around and said, "Well, they deserve to have some missiles and and a nuclear program." And I'm saying, "What the hell we were there fighting for then?" But anyhow, I just when you see things like this, Jared, all you could do is just you know.
I just said this, right?
Uh-huh.
I just say you're blasted idiot. Anyway, I just be like, he just try to portray this strong man, this bad man thing, and you're a coward. You're a coward.
Well,
The
you
little
got
happened around the White House, he run down in the bunker. That's why in the last administration they used to call the bunker boy.
yeah. Well, the reality, Jared, is you have a nation being led by him, okay, so to speak.
I'm
All
glad
right.
you put it that way, so to speak.
and and until the nation says otherwise that they want something more than that, that's what we're gonna get. I see JD Vance put out a book there that got all kind of craziness in it. As well as a craziness, it's like he got some he said something stupid and now he put it in the book. Oh, I said this and it was the stupidest thing I ever said. And I'm saying like, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah,
self-diagnosis now.
yeah,
It's beyond me. We now know that it's the stupidest thing he ever said, but yet he's supposed to be leading America. Right. Okay.
yeah.
Anyhow,
He want to put in his bid for 2028.
yeah. So anyhow, they're gonna strip people of jobs and they're gonna strip people of unemployment insurance. And it's like I'm saying, like, okay, all right. So the sad thing in all of this across the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna focus on this thing that everybody talking about called AI. All right. AI stands for artificial intelligence. And the question is, when are they going to do something about real stupidity? Huh? We focus on artificial intelligence. They got real stupidity that we got going on like a bull in a china shop. Artificial intelligence needs data. Okay? You know how if water sit, it becomes stagnant?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you have the same pool of information, data to pull from, okay, it is you're gonna get the same stagnant information. When you have medical trials, when you have the people for agriculture out there in the field doing studies and so forth and so on, the data that they get is the data that AI needs. So the more we strip like they basically dismantling the Department of Education, the Department of Agriculture, and all of these things. These are areas in health that do research that allows the things like AI to function, it makes absolutely no sense. So if AI replaces all the people at work who have the money to go out and buy anything, are you busy making this product and that product? It's like they're saying they want to destroy the economic system. When you look at it, that's where it's going. Okay, um, it just makes absolutely no sense. But that's what I see. Somebody might want to differ in how they see it and everything else. That's fine. Okay, but I'm saying we're on a self-destructive path, and somehow or the other we need to get off of it and go in a better direction. And if you see it coming, prepare, prepare, because the cost of everything going up and going up and going up. You see, they replaced the guy for the uh oh my goodness, the name escaped me right at the moment, but they put in this new guy in terms in the Fed. Yeah, the Fed setting the interest rates, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were beating up on the former chair because the president wants him to lower interest rates. Well, he get his guy in there now, and what are we doing? We maintaining and maybe even going up, because the bottom line is the president doesn't have a ounce of understanding of what the Fed really does. He just wants to manipulate it like a child, want to do what he wants to do. But the reality is that there's an economic system, and if they lower the interest rates, it's going to cause all kind of havoc in the country. So now he's got his guy who's doing the same thing that the other guy did. Oh Lordy me. It's just as we have said, jokey. Okay, it's just jokey. All right. But anyhow, I digress. All right. Because we have our share of challenges in the Virgin Now, one of the challenges that we have is how do we get our people to look at things in a more global sense of what's happening, and more global sense of what's happening. The more we think about the Western world, as they call it, the Western powers, as they call it, and so forth and so on, and we look at the slave trade. The Pope recently apologized for the Catholic Church role in slavery, because the churches of that time are part of who basically said that people of color are somehow inherently inferior, if not of more of an animal than a human being, and as such things like slavery and all of these things is okay. So now, hundreds of years later, they're saying, "Oh, that was wrong. It was inhuman. It's one of the biggest travesties in against human beings." And then, of course, we have the vote in the United Nations to recognize that, and who abstain and otherwise vote against. All right, you have the United States among others. Israel is another one, and I'm saying, well, these things aren't political. These things aren't religious. This is basic human rights issues that apply to everyone. Because if in another universe, if the majority of people are people of color and they're doing slavery on persons of non-color, it's still wrong. So it's not like you want to turn this thing around and become the very thing that you're against. No, you just want it to purge it out of our country if we could. But hey, it is what it is. Okay. Now I'm watching again and going back to the mainland. You have a family that was accused of shoplifting, Jared. Okay. A family accused of shoplifting, and the family is in a car. Let's say they're fleeing. The policeman pull up his gun and fire a shot into the car. A little child get killed. So of course these people in that community now, they besides themselves about this whole thing. Now it's no different than, if you recall, Jared, when the tide start to turn with the use of cell phones, because they had this police pull over a black man. The black man jump out the car and start running. He was nowhere close to the policeman like they say he was a threat to him. Just jump out the car and start running. Where you gonna go? His car is there. The car got the license and identification. Where you gonna go? Well, he raised up his hand with his gun and fire a shot the man in his back and kill him. Okay? It just so happened that there was a young man who had a phone with a camera, and he recorded the whole thing. So now, the irony of that is that the young man who picked up his phone and took the video was an immigrant and was subsequently deported. Okay, so I'm just saying that in the context, that's where it started with this use of cameras, people documenting things and everything else. But the bottom line is, before that time, when it came down to police shooting people in the back just because they're fleeing, all the justification come up. The justification is just saying that there must have been more to it, but they didn't have any documentation, and now they have cameras. But as a general proposition, if somebody is fleeing, you don't just shoot after them when their back is to you. Okay, well, maybe that's what I, as a ordinary citizen, would think. Maybe it's police does think different. I don't know. I had a chance to inspect no police brains like that to say that they think different. But when you shooting into a vehicle, you have no idea who is in that vehicle. But you could get a license plate. You could get on the radio and call and say, hey, this vehicle is fleeing the scene, and this is where it is, and put be on the lookout, bolo, and boom, they could cut out the vehicle and apprehend the people and do what they have to do. But you will fire a shot into a car. You have no idea where that bullet going, just like the rock stone. Okay, just like the rock stone, you can't know once you let it go where it's going to end up, and so you have to have these policies enforced. That look, I don't care how hot it is, you don't be firing shots into a car. You will fire a shot at the tire to blow the tire. Patience. But when you have all of these resources available to you to just get on the radio and get the police to cordon off the area in a way that you could cut them off and pull them over and everything else, it makes absolutely no sense. You will fire into a car. So a child is dead now. Child didn't do anybody nothing. And the irony of it is, what supposedly was shoplifted was a box of Pampers. Okay? That anybody else in the community could have said, well, okay, you need that. Don't worry, I'm going to pay the bill. You have to deal with the fact that you took it up without paying for it, if that's what happened. But you're going to shoot into a car not knowing who is in that car to meet that bullet as a way of policing. So I'm watching that. I'm going to follow that to see the best I can to see how it is ultimately resolved. But the people in that community, as they need to be, are very much upset. The fact of the matter is, as an attorney and studying these things, it's clear that they say we have one justice system, but the application is not one justice. Is one justice for some people and another sense of justice for other people. Just look at this man who's pardoning all these people who scam people and took away their retirement and everything else, and he just pardoning them left and right. And I could see if you pardon them to get them out of jail, but leave the requirement that they have to do restitution. But no, he just wipe everything away, saying it's
But
okay for you to abuse people and get away with it. So
yeah, scam
you
and
have to
abuse.
understand this is the same thinking with Epstein. It's okay to abuse these people and then give Epstein a pass and give the people
Yeah.
who support Epstein a pass.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I see it. If the community doesn't see it, well, let them take what they get. I'm not there in line to take what they're going to get, but the community has to see it. Anyhow, turn it over to you. It's about that time, brother man.
You're back, Brad.
You ready to go?
For me?
Jared.
You go and do your random act. Hello? Doggy. Okay, I don't hear him. Doggy is still there? Okay, look like Mr. Canton.
Yeah, man. I right here. No. I'm good. I'm good. Something happened. Something happened there. I'm not sure what it was. But anyhow, yeah, it's that time, Jared. You ready to run with it?
Yeah, I good.
Okay. All right. Good. Got to make a quick run here and do something before I get some licks.
I don't know why I'm running and have car to drive.
Okay, I'll drive then. I'll take your advice, but I ain't gonna give you the keys. All right. Okay. Until next time, I'm out. Do your random act of kindness, brother. I'm counting on you.
Me, I tell you already, I can just do my random act, you know. So,
all right.
It is what it is.
Okay.
Whether they kind or not, that's left for their interpretation.
All right. Till next time. I gone.
All right. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Okay. Now Mr. Canton has left the building. Yeah, he have some things he needs to go do. So I will be your lone host for the next half hour. I would like to remind the public that if you or your loved one has considerable hearing and vision loss, the ICANN Connect program is for you or your loved one. The ICANN Connect program is also known as the Deafblind Equipment Distribution Program that is funded under the FCC. To learn more about this program, you can visit icanconnect.org. That's icanconnect.org. Or you can call 340 692 4267 to get more information about the ICANN Connect program. Now, via USAID, under the umbrella of UVI, we do a lot of stuff for persons with disabilities and seniors. We try our best to assist the disability community, the senior community. Under that umbrella, we assist persons with disabilities and seniors in using their cell phones, iPads, and so forth. The number to call to get on board with that is 340-692-4266. And we also have what you call our equipment reuse program. Now, that program is a DME, or durable medical equipment. If you need a walker, wheelchair, or cane in a pinch, don't have the money right now, your insurance is waiting to cover it, just call via USAID at 340-692-4267. we are happy to serve you. Once you get a car, you can borrow it for 30 days or more, and we take care of your needs. So, okay. Looks like I have to make a stop before I go to work. Just got a text from my boss. Alrighty. Okay. So, so I like to talk about accessible transportation. I started talking about the rideshare bill, which we have in the Senate, and I'm gonna tell Alpha no. Those people who are the incumbents, when they come to you asking for your vote, ask them about the rideshare bill. Tell them to get that bill passed before they get it. They get your vote. Tell them to pass the bill and stop playing keyboarding and playing around with these taxi men, because let me tell you, there's hardly enough taxi men out there to cover the island. They have in the rideshare bill that they want the rideshare drivers to do 30 hours of VI history. For what? All that rideshare driver need to know is where the hottest happening, where the club there, what's the best restaurant that they can take you to eat, you know. That's all they need to know. They need to know nothing about the island because they ain't doing no tours. So that's just placating to them taxi drivers when they say, well, they gotta do this thing, but they're doing they need to do 30 hours of VI history. That's nonsense. When you go to New York and you have a Uber or a Lyft, or you go to Florida or any other state, Virginia, those places, they don't have to do stuff like that because they're not doing tours. They just picking up people and taking them where they need to go. Okay? Not like y'all have heard me say before. I'm a blind individual. I depend on Vitran to get where I'm going. And there are times where Vitran is not reliable, as we all know. It's not an if or an or, but we know this. Okay? So in knowing this, the alternative we have here is called VI Hail. That's what I use in the weekend if I need to go someplace. Because I can't drive. I don't drive. I don't own a vehicle. So if you don't own a vehicle, you don't drive. I need to go someplace on a Sunday or Saturday where the buses aren't running, the Vitron buses aren't running. I could barely find a taxi bus. How are you gonna get there? Download the app, fund your wallet, and get where you're going. I don't work for VI Hail, but I advocate for them because I use them all the time and I see the need for it, not just for a person with a disability, but for everybody. And the good thing about using that service, they pay you to use the service, The more you ride that service, you gain points, and you could cash them points out to use for a free ride. So it's like a win-win situation. You gotta pay, But in the end, they pay you for using the service. So what do you think about that? You know, the app is available on Apple App Store and the Android Play Store. I mean, come on, all you gotta download the app, set it up, and you don't have to worry about transportation if you get stuck out there any day of the week. And they work 24/7. Now, you know you can't get a taxi man out of bed, right? After a certain time, they wouldn't even answer your call. So, what do you think about that? Tell your incumbent senators, or even better yet, call their offices and tell them to pick up that bill and get it, pass it through. So we can have this thing here. Everything for St. Croix they like to stifle. I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's like they want to keep St. Croix in the Stone Ages. You know? Look at the deplorable condition of our airport. Our airport. Our airport in St. Croix. The longest runway in the territory. It's supposed to be an international airport. I don't got no flights. You ever see more? Why is this? They have the highest landing fees in the territory over here. Why is that? Why is the landing fees cheaper in St. Thomas than in St. Croix? Why? Because they landing in the water in St. Thomas. The backfield land that they make the runway out of is cheaper to land on than the solid ground where they're landing on in the south side of St. Croix. You know? And then on top of that, to the east side of the runway, you have the Anguilla landfill, which is trying to mitigate a lot of the stuff there because to stop the birds and things from congregating there, because it could cause problems with the planes when they're taking off. But you still want to charge the plane then so much money to land there. I mean, make this make sense for me. Somebody, please, make this make sense. Because no way I could look at it. You know, I know which way, either which way I could turn this thing, I can't make sense out of it. You know, why is the landing fee so high? That's why we can hardly have any planes coming directly to St. Croix. Flights out of St. Croix is minimal. But you have a whole heap of different air carriers coming in, landing and leaving across the pond, you know, constantly. Some people say it's because we don't have enough rooms. So if we don't have enough rooms, what are we going to do about that? You know, senators, what are we going to do about that? You know, you got the old Grapetree Bay Hotel. I think somebody said that they had opened part of it and was running the restaurant or whatever. You know, that hotel has been damaged since Hurricane Hugo. You know, bring in investors. You know, listen, we have had so much. We even had the inn on the airport road. I think they probably finally knocked down the buildings now. Oh, we had the little inn by the airport road.
Line 1.
Okay, we got a caller on line 1. Let me see who I got here. Good morning, caller. You on the air?
Good morning. morning.
Yes, sir.
On another talk show, I heard people, come to me and say, "Oh well, with WAPA, that in the states they have grids that if one power plant fails, another one can pick up, and we don't have that, and so on." And I was like, that wasn't an easy system for them to develop. They saw what they needed to do, and they put in the work and effort into getting it done.
Yeah.
Here, we just keep talking about what we can't do, rather than looking and seeing what can we do, and then put in the time and effort to do it. Nobody said it's going to be easy. They had a song in the 70s, Nobody Promised You a Rose Garden.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's what we in the Virgin Islands believe, that somebody promised us that life was going to be easy. I remember growing up, and what I got from the adults was, life is hard. Pick up skills and abilities that you're going to need to make it easier. But we're like, and the thing is, we accept this excuse from these people that oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. It's like, okay, stop focusing on what you can't do. What can we do, and get to it. WAPA has been a problem for at least, I would say, from the 90s.
But let me ask
So
you.
that's like over 30 years.
Let me ask
Over
you.
30 years, we can't figure out something
Well,
to make it better.
let me ask you a question though. You remember the old refinery, Hess?
Right.
I don't know if you remember when they had asked Hess to provide power if in case the plant goes down, and Hess told them that they can do it. Thus, they need to buy a switch. At the time, the switch had cost like $100,000. Did you remember that?
I don't remember that part about buying the switch. I remember that they had access. What I understood was that Hess told them no, that they didn't really want to connect up to them, because I guess they were concerned about, I guess a backdraft type thing, and our power plant messing up their power plant. So they would have to put in a switch and safety mechanisms, which is exactly what happens in the States. Well, they have to have something in there that the other person's power plant don't knock your power plant off. Right.
Well, there was one button in the switch, and if you know where Tropical Plumbing used to be,
right,
just after Tropical Plumbing, heading west, right there where they have that dirt road that goes to that I think it's wastewater treatment plant down that dirt road.
Right,
if you look up, you'll see some wires just like hanging there. That switch was supposed to be connected in that area there. Okay?
Yeah.
The government never took held up their end of the bargain.
Yeah.
That's why it was never connected.
Yeah. There are things that we can do, but we are just not doing. And that's the problem. And the thing is that they can fool us all the time. I just recently remembered about Marley's song "Ambush in the Night" that came out in 1979. And when I was listening to it, I remembered some of the verses, and I was like, "That's us. We're getting ambushed by our people all the time."
Right.
It starts out saying, "See them fighting for power, but they know not the hour." So they're bribing with their guns, spare parts, and money, trying to belittle our integrity.
Right.
They say that we know just what they teach us, but we're so ignorant because every time they can reach us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, is we are ignorant. We are letting them reach us with nonsense every time, and so they do that. It's easier to fool us off than to actually try to fix the problem. So So they take the easier path. Walter takes the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Politicians, most of them, take the path of least resistance. If they could give you a nonsensical answer and you accept it, that's what they're going to do. Unless they're a true leader who is trying to make change, trying to make the place better. But it's obvious we don't have a lot of those people because the place is not getting better.
Right.
And we don't even see the effort to make it better. What we see is people who just do enough to stay in power.
And then they take the broadcast of the legislative session and put it on a Puerto Rican station.
Oh,
no,
they got Puerto Rican voters.
Yeah, but
so
but who knows who knew about that?
Yeah.
Who knew about that? It used to be on 1620, and they lost the contract. I gave it to this guy for years, and he has it over there for years. So unless you know to tune into his station or tune into them on YouTube or Facebook or what you call legit TV or whatever, if you have cable, you won't be able to see or listen to the session unless you know that you gotta go on Poppy Love station, Poppy Love Radio.
But all that is our fault. We allow it. As Bob Marley song said, we're so ignorant that every time they can read. And that was about the time when the ambushes started to begin in the Virgin Islands.
Yep.
Things were progressing. 1970, we got to vote for our governor. Things were getting better. But by the time 79 rolled around, all that stopped. And we were getting ambushed. I don't know exactly when it began, but definitely by 1970, 79, we were getting ambushed. And again, it's because we were so ignorant that every time they could reach us. So they keep doing it.
Well,
and they will keep doing it until we stop it, until we start to learn about life, learn what works, what doesn't work, and hold them up to that standard. But if they can easily tell us some nonsense and we go away, and they don't have any hard work to do, because our fixing Whopper is not going to be easy.
Listen to me.
But again, nobody said it's going to be easy.
No, it's not going to be easy.
About Rose Garden.
Nope. But you know what?
But it is fixable. It can be fixed with some hard work.
Yes, but what the main problem is in that. The main problem is back in 1966. The election of 1966, what they call Victory 66, where they reapportioned the legislature. That's where our problem started.
But then it's continuing on for what's that? Over 50 years that we can't correct ourselves.
They don't want listen.
It's because we have to educate ourselves.
Yeah, but they try
the world.
Yeah, but people have tried to educate the public. We even had a special election trying to do, for reapportionment and things.
And how does the public react to that?
They
usually get offended and get mad. They don't want to be educated. They don't want to listen.
Right.
But they want to live in this fantasy that things are going to get better.
Yeah, but you have the people that we elect telling them that it's unconstitutional. According to the Organic Act of 1954, it says 1 senator per district. 1 senator, not 7. Not 7. 1 senator per district. Now you have 7 senators per district. This setup what we have right now is unconstitutional. Okay, but the problem with the people in the audience, they do not read. They do not read. If the people stop listening,
they want to stay, and that's how you stay ignorant.
If you stop,
ignorant, it means that you don't know information. You don't know facts.
If you stop
and many of our people don't know, and they don't want to know. It seems to me, it seems like we want to live in a fantasy world. We don't want to know the truth. And so that's why when the senators come with their nonsense and the leaders, governors and commissioners and CEOs of WAPA come with nonsense, we gobble it up because we don't want to know the realities of life.
Exactly.
We run from them.
Because they could have 7 district senators, 3 in St. Thomas East, Mid Island, and St. Thomas West. St. Croix East.
To buy into something like that, they have to accept reality.
Yeah, but let me explain.
You ever try to give a dog medication?
Yeah.
That's like trying to give a Virgin Island the facts and the truth.
Yeah, right.
They'll do everything they can not to ingest it.
Right. So let me finish by saying this because my time running short. So you will have three senators on both islands, right? The one for East, one for Mid Island, one for West. On both islands, that's 6. St. John would be a district by itself. That's 7. And then the other 8 to make the 15, you're gonna have them split. 4 from St. Croix, 4 from St. Thomas running at large. That way the entire territory have a say in who goes in there that's voting on things that matters that concerns them. Right now, they have people across the pond that have blocked things for us over here in St. Croix, and we can't vote them out. We can't. But their decisions affect us over here. That's unconstitutional.
But that's just like the WAPA problem. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows that St. John, the 2 districts, St. Croix and St. Thomas and St. John. One district has 7 senators. The other district has 8.
Yes.
Everybody knows this. So how in the world is 7 ever going to get over 8? And the person from St. John has to come from St. John, a resident of St. John.
Yes.
St. John depends on everything from St. Thomas. So why are they not going to vote with St. Thomas?
Right.
Again, facts that are plain out there. So for somebody to fly out to the Virgin Islands from St. John, they have to go to the St. Thomas airport.
Yes.
If they want to deliver a baby, they got to go to the St. Thomas hospital.
Right.
If they want to buy a tire, they got to go to St. Thomas. If they want to buy a car, they got to go to St. Thomas. If they want to buy a washing machine, they got to go to St. Thomas. So that's that person from, as it is written, there are 2 districts. One district has 8 senators. The other district has 7.
And that
plain as this.
And that
you don't have to be a Matt Wiz to understand this. And the 8 is going to outvote 7 when it comes down to things.
All the time. And that was because...
But we want to pretend that this is a fair situation and that St. Croix has a shot.
And that was because of Victory 66. Okay?
Well, so, the people want to be fooled. It's like, there was Simpsons and the sisters on there, Margin sisters. One of them was dating this guy who was kind of like a con man. And she asked her sister, "What do you think about this?" And she said, "Well, do you want me to tell you the truth or do you want me to lie to you?" And she said, "Lie to me."
Okay.
That is the people of the Virgin Islands.
All right, well, I got to give about 30 seconds because it's 10 a.m. And my time is up. I haven't seen the marshal come in yet, but I know she right around the corner coming.
Okay. Thanks for the time.
You're welcome. Okay, with that said, it is 10 a.m. We have come full circle. I haven't seen the marshal come through the door yet. But, yeah, I know. I haven't seen, right? I'm supposed to be blind, so how I could see she come in the door? She could be right there watching me and me, all right? Hey, that's life. But guess what? I ain't changing the way I talk for nobody. So I think I hear her coming. Yes, so it's another ending of another Thursday morning with reflections. This is Gerard Evelyn signing off. Doug will be back next Thursday, virtually, same time, same place. Ready?
Yeah.
So until next time, peace out.
AM 970 WSTX,
There you go.
Christiansted, Fredericksted, and the Virgin
I
Islands.
want to take a picture of me here.